Do you know the number one regret of people who are dying? They wish with all their hearts that they could have made their life more about themselves rather than trying to fit into the molds of other people's perceptions. In simple terms, they wish they had the courage to live a life that was more true to themselves. To make sure you don't face the same regret when you're on your final lap of life, it's time to shift gears. And the first step to do that is to take your focus away from what others think about you. This video is here to help you do just that. So smash that like button and let us help you live a life with no regrets. Number 9. Find your passion. First things first, let's give you the bitter pill. You need to dial down your care meter. That's the goal. You can't care about everything at a perfect 10. Now let's take a look at how you can do that. What's the trick? You need to find your fire. You need to find something that drives you, makes your heart race, and makes your passion hit the roof. And do you know the best part about finding your fire? It literally could be anything. From painting to chasing UFOs, you can put your finger on anything and just do it. Because the key is not to make any money out of it. The key is to make that obsession of yours outweigh the insecurities of being an outsider. Your enthusiasm should drown out the noise of the judgment of others. When that happens, you're going to see a change in your life and your attitude towards others. And there will come a point when your passion will triumph over the opinion of others. Number 8. Weed out the dead weight. Now let's talk about one of the biggest hurdles that every person encounters when they first start doing what they love. When you finally find your passion, you'll find people around you who'll have every kind of opinion about it. So one of the ways to move forward is to weed out all the dead weight. Let us explain something to you. Have you ever heard of crabs in a bucket syndrome? It's a hypothetical scenario with some real wisdom. When you put a lot of crabs in a bucket, and every time one tries to climb out, there's another crab that will yank it back in. It's a classic case of misery loves company. You need to shake this off, and you need to create your own team. When you have an inner circle that's filled with love and support, you'll find that it's hard to give a hoot about anyone else's opinion about you. Why? Because for one bad word of mouth, for one bad perception, you'll have 20 good words of mouth. That's why creating your own support system without the negative bunch is critical for your success in life without getting weighed down by those crabs in the bucket. Number 7. Define your core values. Are you ready to take this not caring what others think to another level? Well, let's go. What's the next step? When you found your passion, your fire, and created your inner circle, you need to grant yourself the power to hold the reins of judgment firmly in your hands. You move on, craft your own rules, and define your core values. Think about this. What makes your heart beat faster? Is it growth? Is it a contribution? Is it freedom? Pick your flavor and let it guide you through the plethora of opinions out there. When you commit to your core values, people start to dig you. Seriously, it'll ruffle a few feathers, but it will earn you respect as well. And when you feel like you're getting bogged down by all the negativity, remember, people come and go, but the one constant is you. Number 6. Don't try to read minds. It's time to hit the brakes on this ride of overthinking about what everyone else is thinking about you. Do you know that most people don't notice you as much as you think they do? The fact is, they're probably busy thinking about themselves more than they're thinking about you. Don't try to read other people's minds and create an image of yourself based on presumptions. If you had the superpower to read minds, you'd be more shocked at the sheer volume of people obsessing over their own daily dramas. You aren't the main character in their thoughts. And hey, if you've got this nagging feeling that others are brewing up a potion of negative thoughts about you, consider this. Could it be that you're projecting your own negative vibes onto them? Think about it in terms of the law of attraction. Negativity attracts more of the same. Number 5. Exit the validation bar. You've come a long way now, so let's not stop. You need to see this journey to its end. So the next step is liberating yourself from the validation casino. Hear us out and you'll understand what we mean. First up, you need to do an Instagram detox. Instagram gets you addicted to the false, duplicitous version of your life. It's a legit problem that needs some attention, or it festers. Pull the plug on the gram, and it will make you realize that you are way more interested in what strangers thought of you than the actual work you're doing. If you let others hold the remote control of your emotions, you're handing them a ticket to mess with your vibe. You don't need to turn into a self-centered maniac. Nope. It's about finding that spot where you're free to chase your dreams while still being a kind soul. Leaving the validation casino opens your eyes to a revelation. Most people are too busy thinking about themselves to care about you. Seriously, most of the time you're not even on their mental radar. Bottom line, cut the strings tying you to the validation puppet show. Number 4, turn negative critique into positivity. Are you ready to turn some tables? Flip some script? Well, here's your chance. It sounds a bit wild, but hear us out. Showing compassion to people who try to rain on your parade might just be the wildest, most effective trick of all. Yes, we admit that it's difficult, but it works like a charm. When you offer up some compassion to people like these, you realize that the person who's saying all this stuff is coming from a place of hurt. They're basically playing the blame game to make themselves feel better. Yes, it's not cool for them to use you as their emotional punching bag. But here's the thing. When you respond with empathy rather than rage, you tell them that your space is not a landing ground for any negativity. Your level of self-acceptance is what makes you bulletproof to taking any criticism personally. Number 3, growth mindset. Your next step is to shift gears into the growth mindset. There are 2 kinds of people in this world. One is those who have a fixed mindset, and then there are others who have a growth mindset. Now, if you find yourself getting stuck in the quicksand of what everyone's thinking and assuming it's all gloom and doom, chances are you have a fixed mindset. You need to upgrade to not fixating on the whims of people and events. You need to imagine yourself as a work in progress, and when you do that, you will successfully embrace the growth mindset. With this, no critique and no opinion can hold you down. Number 2, self-acceptance. The penultimate of all the efforts is to bring you to this point, the point of self-acceptance. But first, let's address the pressing question. Why do we care so much about what others think? Well, part of it is the fear that maybe, just maybe, there's a grain of truth in their thoughts. For example, if someone says something ridiculous about you, you laugh it off because, of course, it's absurd. But it will bother you if you think, okay, maybe they have a point. A big reason we're so hung up on others' opinions is that we've got these closet skeletons. There are things about ourselves that we're low-key ashamed of. If you think people perceive you as weird, the chances are you also think the same about yourself. But so what? So what if you're weird? It doesn't matter as long as you're true to yourself. You need to embrace all your quirks because humans are supposed to be weird. Nobody's perfect, and neither should you be. Number 1, best friend trick. Of course, everyone has moments in their life when they don't feel A-okay. No matter how much self-acceptance and self-esteem you inject into yourself, there are always going to be days where other people's negative ideas are going to hit you hard. So what do you do then? Enter the best friend trick. Pause and ask yourself, what advice would I give to my best friend in this situation? Why does this work? Because let's be real, we're often way kinder to our friends than we are to ourselves. Doing this trick is the equivalent of tapping into your own personal pep talk. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. For many people, fear of self-acceptance steals their motivation to improve. They believe that self-acceptance is the road to complacency, but it's not. Think about it. How can you find your way to where you want to go if you're blind to where you are? You can't. Take charisma, for example. The people who struggle the most to boost their charisma are the ones who refuse to admit they're not already charismatic. You can't level up if you're already pretending you're at the top. It doesn't work. So here's the final word. Self-acceptance isn't a declaration of eternal love for your current state. It's more like giving you a pat on the back to yourself that spells out that you're okay with wherever you are in your life's journey. From that space of acceptance, there are no limits to how much you can grow and improve. Are you ready to live a full life? Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to stay tuned for more life-changing videos.